Welcome to the Health Ranger Report. Now, we all know that the fast food and junk food and big ag companies work very hard to hide the fact of what's in their food. They don't want you to know about the GMOs. They don't want you to know about the acrylamides. They don't want you to know about the MSG. They hide it using different kinds of names like yeast extract. And, by and large, they just don't want you to know the truth about what's in their food. Pesticides and herbicides aren't listed on the label, for example. And there's no law requiring them to be listed. But you might think that, the natural products industry is all about transparency. They want all clean food, clean supplements, clean products, full transparency, everything on the label. Well, I'm here to tell you today that's total nonsense. And I know firsthand because, I'm the science lab director of the Natural News Forensic Food Lab, and I'm the one who blew the whistle in, 2013, on lead levels in organic rice protein being imported from China. And Dr. Oz invited me on his show to talk about some of the findings, including high lead levels in ginkgo and cadmium in cacao, and so on. And now more recently, I've gone public with my findings on high levels of lead and especially aluminum in zeolites. Zeolite lead levels are just really high, like sometimes 60 parts per million. And aluminum levels are like almost off the chart, over 30,000 parts per million in some of the tests. Now, what I find is that every time I publicly publish this laboratory data, which, by the way, is acquired by using ICP-MS instrumentation. I use an Agilent 7700X. I have a university-level laboratory that I've been running for almost 2 years. And it's sensitive down to parts per billion concentrations. And time again, all our results have been proven accurate. Even other labs have confirmed our findings. I actually went to a university in Texas to an ICP-MS lab in that university to confirm my findings on tungsten in brown rice protein, by the way. That was interesting. Anyway, what I find in every case, when I go public with something, I get viciously attacked, smeared, threatened with lawsuits by these natural product companies, who really behave just like drug companies, just like vaccine companies, just like Monsanto. When push comes to shove, they don't want transparency of their products at all. And they damn sure well do not want somebody in the natural products industry like me, a known clean food activist, shining the light on the real composition of what they are selling. Because, you see, many products in this industry are sold on complete mythology, false narratives. And for example, let's take this rice protein that's imported from China. A lot of these bottles that import this rice protein, they never tell you that the protein came from China. And they don't test for heavy metals themselves. I know this is a fact. Almost nobody in the industry tests for heavy metals, at least until I started publicizing it. Now, some companies do, like Vega protein is actually very clean. And they took it seriously and they've done a lot of their own testing. Most other companies don't test, even to this day, which is rather shocking to me. So they will say on their labels, made in America. And it's perfectly legal to do so. So they'll import something from China, and then they'll add in some other small ingredient sourced from somewhere else, Canada or Mexico or Europe or the United States for that matter. And then they simply blend these two ingredients together. Now the product is made in America. You see how that works? And that's what they put on the bottom, made in America. And people think they're buying rice from America, but they aren't. They're buying rice from China, and it's contaminated with lead and cadmium and tungsten and who knows what else. And the industry gets away with this. And this is the same industry that claims to be, providing all the clean, health-promoting foods. And to a large extent, there are many good players in the industry. I'm not trying to slam the whole industry. There are great companies that sell honest products, that manufacture honest products. Lots of companies like that exist. But there is this wing of the natural products industry that is just as criminal, just as corrupt, just as dishonest as the drug companies and the vaccine companies and the GMO companies. Trust me, I know firsthand. I've been threatened by all of them. So they hate science. They hate transparency. They hate anyone scrutinizing their label. They want to promote their products based on this total false narrative. Oh, it's made in America. Oh, it's super clean, super pure, high energy, high vibration. Oh, we have little delicate symbols on the label, ancient symbols, the flower of life symbol, whatever. And they want you to think you're getting the most amazing thing ever, and it's just totally false. And so the latest issue has been with zeolites. When I went public and I said, look, I've been testing these zeolites in the lab, and I've tested them quite extensively for over a year. And every zeolite I've ever tested has really high lead and really high aluminum. And yet what I found is that when zeolites are in a granular form, like the size of the grains of sand, that they don't get digested in the human digestive system. They actually pass right through you. It's like swallowing sand, essentially. They're like little rocks. So if you're taking granular zeolites, they really just pass through you. And yet, the zeolite companies have gone to great lengths to, quote, micronize these powders or grind them into a very fine powder with the aim, they say, of making sure it gets absorbed through your intestinal walls into your bloodstream, where they claim it removes heavy metals from your body. Well, in my view, these are very dubious claims because, number one, how can you accurately measure that it's removing heavy metals from the body when it's adding heavy metals? The one study I saw showed that people taking zeolites were eliminating aluminum in their urine. Well, zeolites are made of aluminum. And yet the people who did this study claimed that it showed that zeolites cause your body to eliminate aluminum. But when you eat zeolites, you're eating aluminum. So wouldn't you expect to eliminate the aluminum since you don't want it in your body? That's not a detox. It's like eating mercury and then urinating mercury and saying that's a mercury detox. That doesn't count as a detox. That's a scam as far as I'm concerned. So, of course, when I go public with this stuff, I get threatened by people in the industry. How dare you? How dare you? Totally false. You don't know anything. You don't know what you're doing. Your lab isn't legit. Blah 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 blah. And then, of course, they turn around and send their samples to some other lab. The other lab comes back with the exact same results. I've seen this over and over and over again. It's actually quite funny. And they find out, gee, I guess the health ranger was telling the truth. There really is lead and aluminum in this product, or whatever it happens to be in whatever product. And then their threats go away, and then they just hope it all dies down while they keep pushing this same stuff. Whole Foods keeps selling it. Whole Foods doesn't care what the composition of their products are. They will sell toxic lead in anything. Whole Foods doesn't test their stuff. They, or at least they don't test it. They don't test it and then restrict anything. To my knowledge, if they did, they wouldn't be selling some of these products that I've gone public with because they have very, very concerning levels of certain heavy metals. So they'll sell it. Whole Foods will sell it. Amazon.com will sell it. Manufacturers will keep making it as long as you keep buying it. And what they try to do then is silence, intimidate, and threaten people like me who are running the labs on our own dime, by the way. I don't make any profit from telling you the truth on this. I don't get any money from anybody. Actually, I get threatened all the time. But that's what they try to do. They try to shut us up. They try to threaten us, silence us, intimidate us. I tell you, for me, it just has the opposite effect. Like, if somebody threatens me and attacks me, just makes me want to work even harder in the public interest, Makes me want to work even harder to dig into what's their cover-up? What are they hiding? What does the public need to know? If they're that mad and that outrageous and that angry, there's probably something else I haven't found yet in their products, so I need to keep looking. It just motivates me even more, which I guess is a good trait. And sometimes people have the opposite result, and they say, well, gee, thank you for the lab test. We're going to do better to improve our product. And those are the companies that I tend to promote and support over the years because they're working to make their products cleaner and more honest and more transparent. And I respect that. And I can tell you, by the way, there is something coming up because we're expanding our laboratory. There's something huge coming up where we're going to be testing off-the-shelf products that is going to just send tidal wave of shock and awe probably across the entire food industry, not just dietary supplements, but the food industry with our new findings that will change the industry, just like we changed the the protein industry with our findings. And so watch for that. That's with our new laboratory expansion. In the meantime, be wary. Don't trust people that are just pushing something and they're talking about, oh, wow, this is so amazing. It's like the best ever. And I got this and that. And like, no, there's nothing even compares to this. And when I take it, I feel a high vibration. Be very afraid of that kind of marketing hype because it usually comes from people who've never done any testing at all, who are also the first people to scream when the testing is conducted on their products and they find that, oh my gosh, they're selling lead, they're selling aluminum, they're selling cadmium or some other contaminant that they didn't really know about because they weren't looking. It's always been amazing to me how many people will sell anything to the public because they don't really want to look too closely at what it is they're selling. As long as it makes money and they have their website and their e-commerce, they're happy. They're making money. And it's just sick and it's unethical. And yes, it exists in every industry. So with your support, my job is to perform real clean food activism, real scientific activism to bring transparency to this so that you can make informed choices about what's safe and what may not be so safe for you to consume. Keep checking it out at talknetwork.com and also visit naturalnews.com where I will be releasing more laboratory results in the near future. Take care.